back here working on the New Holland BR780 baler here, getting all my parts and pieces cleaned up and pre-assembled on these belt rollers here so I can get this back in the baler. I'm just going to show you here quickly what I got going on here. So anyways, this is the aftermath of what an old bearing looks like when you have one that's seized in there and can't get it out. So what you do is you cut it and well, you cut them to pieces or melt them out with a torch, and that's all you can do with the acetylene torch. And I cut them all up and got them out, and use this other what's left of this race from this other bearing here. You can see here I had to actually split cut this one here with the torch and not damage the outer roller housing. You can get these replacement housings that go into the inside of the tube, but that's an extra $100 and some odd for this outer bearing carrier. So if you can avoid damaging, it's best. These are still in good shape. So I went ahead and you can see by the discoloration here from the heat from cutting the old one out, and I reheated it again to expand it so that I could drive the bearing in. They're a special bearing. They've got an inner square collar or shoulder, whatever you want to call it, that goes into this deal here. This is your carrier here that bolts into the wall of the, or not wall, but bolts into the belt tensioner on the swing arm in the baler. This goes in here like this. This square collar slides in there, and then of course this rotates. So yeah. Anyways, this is all actually has a fair bit of slack in it when you slide it in. But once you get a whole bunch of dirt and rust in there for years and years, that bearing was the original to the baler. The baler is 20 years old already, so it was high time that they were starting to, this one wasn't the worst one, but it was starting to make noise, and I had two other smaller rollers. One was actually seizing up, and I know that one never been changed. I had done one when I had got the baler, but that was a long time. It was almost 10 years ago, and that set of bearings in that roller was already going out. So anyways, yeah, so these are the parts and pieces, and getting it all back together. I'm going to turn and spin this. This end is done, ready to go back in the baler, but I got to do my other end over there. I got to flip it around. I'll go ahead and set the camera up here on a tripod so I'll show the process here of going about doing this. So go ahead here and grab and spin this roller around. These buggers are heavy. That's a fairly heavy steel wall pipe on this particular roller here. This roller is not it's not exactly light. But anyways, gotta make sure there's any little bit of rust, or like here, there's old burn marks here from the torch here. So what I did is I've got my little 4.5 inch angle grinder with a 3-inch wire cup brush here. It just fits inside of this housing, so I just slip it in like this, and just set it in there. And then I start kind of hard on the grinder, but I start it up and buff out all the crap off of out of the inside of that race, so that bearing can slide in there easy without any dirt. Because the worst thing you want is rust or dirt, because you're gonna fight and you'll get your bearing halfway in, it might jam, and then you're gonna have a real you wreck a new bearing. So there we go, nice and clean, rust free. Got that taken care of. Now I got to go ahead and get my, I'm not using a acetylene torch here today. I'm just using a high capacity small propane torch to just pour a bunch of heat to it, and just okay, I think we've got enough heat to it. Gotta work quickly. This bearing is cold, but this housing will start cooling off pretty quick here. There, just like that. And then just let it start naturally air cooling down, and there we go. The other one I didn't quite have enough heat on it, and I had used the old bearing race. What you can do is if it starts to stick, what it was doing, you just take and take your old, if you can salvage your old race, even though this one here is, like I say, it's good enough for that. You put it on there, make sure it's lined up, and then you keep tapping it in. But this one went all the way in nicely, so no problem there. Like I say, we'll just we'll let that cool down, and then we got one assembly that's ready to go back in the machine, and we got that one taken care of. Now 2 more to go, so I'll bring you back here when get a little further along with the other ones. Okay, I went ahead and put a whole new bearing assembly into the next roller here. See if I can zoom in here. These come as they've got all these rollers have an insert that goes into them, and the bearing presses into that insert. The insert goes into the roller pipe, and they've got a little bit of a collar machined on the inside of the pipe. The machine housing here, this bearing housing here, presses in or taps. You can heat to expand. This one just if you tapped a little bit with the hammer, it was I cleaned up the rust out of it with the grinder, with the wire wheel, and able to tap it in without having to heat sweat it in. I bought this as an assembly because one of these, this outer one here was buggered up on the other end there. I've got the one that came out of this, and I put a new one here, and I'm going to reinstall. I'm going to reinstall this one here. I already went ahead and put a new bearing into this bearing housing, and now I'm going to assemble the whole thing into the other end here. I'm going to go ahead and turn this. I'm going to zoom you back out here. I'm going to go ahead and turn that roller around, and then see if I can pop that other collar out of there, because the bearing was spinning in that other collar. It worked its way loose. It does happen. It can happen. Stuff gets damaged for whatever reason. I've got a good slide hammer here, so I'm going to see if I can get this out here. It's a homemade heavy-duty slide hammer here, but yeah, there we go. And it's offside here. There we go. It's coming. Almost have it out. There we go. That one's out. Now what happened with this one is the bearing was literally the whole bearing was spinning in here, so, and it was getting loose in here, and it was rattling. So this collar's buggered, so this will go in the scrap. This other collar here was good. It's a tight fit. Like I say, I put a new bearing in it. This has been refurbished and it's going to go into this one. And I got a whole new housing with bearing that went into the other side. So we'll see if this one will go in, if I have to heat sweat it in, or if I can just, I'll use the old collar here and see if I can tap it in. Yeah, there we go. Get this, there we go, get it counter sunk in there. And that's it, ready to, this one too, this one just has a round bore, but it's got those same style of those support, those end caps that go in there that bolt into the bale tensioner swing arm. So a little bit different, regular bearing, not one of those square center bearings, but same concept, same principle with these collars that if you're basically it's like a bearing outer race is what it is, but it's for a plain, it's not a tapered bearing, it's just a square, basic square bearing with an interference fit. So anyways, there we go, roller number 2 down. So we got that taken care of, and that can go back into the baler. There we go. Now I got one more to go, and that one's going to be a dirty bugger to get apart. So I don't know if I'm going to show that or not, but I guess I'll try. Finally finishing up on the BR780 round baler here. Sorry I didn't show the last bit there of putting the rollers back in there. I showed putting the heat sweating those bearings in there, I believe. It wasn't much to show other than getting them back up in the swing arms here. I'll show you. I want to get this done here. I got the last couple of belts here to finish putting the lacings in here. Just these little keeper wires here. These clipper type belt lacings here. What I did was on this front roller here, on the what they call the sledge roller here on the front here, I went ahead and this is the one main one that carries most of the load. I went ahead and put new bearings in this roller here, in this roller here on the bale tensioning arm, and secondary roller here. This was the one here that was buggering up actually. It was squealing and bearings were jamming up. That one there and this one here. This one I had done years back when I first got the baler, but it was just starting to get, it wasn't horrible, but it was, you could feel when you'd spin it over, when I had the belts, drop the belts out here, it was starting to get a little bit rough. So I went ahead and changed the bearings while I was at it. So I did the 1, 2, and 3 over here. And while I was in here, well, you can't see here, but on these arms here, over here, the belts over time will wear into the metal, or will literally wear into the metal, and will cut their way through these. They're like a 3/8 steel plate, and it was over halfway worn through already. So I went ahead and put a little bit of filler weld in here and brought it back up to even. Same with this other one. You're not as bad on the tail roller here, but I did a little bit of weld on there. Did a fair bit on this one, filled this one in, ground it smooth again. And on this sledge here, on this roller here, this was the worst. Like, and unfortunately I can't show it here. It's in the shadows, and well, anyways, so I built that one back up here on both sides too here. So anyways, just gonna finish, like I say, lacing these last 2 belts up here. And well, anyways, this baler is I'm gonna go ahead and put the tension back on. Once I'm done here lacing them, I'm going to put the tension back on. And then I got to, you plug your, they got this hydraulic bale tension system on here. You plug it into the tractor, you charge it up, and then you let it go back to 0. And then once your door is closed, you charge it up to full whatever pressure, you know, almost 3,000 psi, whatever the tractor puts out. And then you hit the float valve and just let it return back to 0, and then unplug the system. Then it's closed, and your tension, they've got you can increase or decrease the pressure here, turning that valve here. That's what when the bale arm expands, it puts pressure back in the closed loop system. It's not hooked to the tractor all the time. You just use it to relieve the pressure when you're doing these, along with that, like I say, that swing arm pin here. You release the tension there. I'll have to lift it up and take that pin out, close it, like I say, and then recharge the hydraulic tension system, and then we're good to go. So I'll go ahead and show that here, and hopefully everything is working fine and no more rough bearings, and I can continue on here. It's getting late, very late in the season. It's already well into fall. Not like what I like doing, but we've had some nice weather, got lucky, so I want to finish up my haying, and won't be the best quality hay, but well, some hay, as long as it's baled dry, is better than years where we had drought and no hay at all, and then you're buying whatever somebody has available, and believe me, people will sell you anything they can put through a baler. So what I'm making, actually, some of the fields, because it was such a wet year this year, when I did get a late start, the hay is actually very, very nice yet, even though it's late in the season. Some of the couple of the fields I've been cutting here, the one here, it's still, you would swear it was late July. It's green and lush, and it's hard. It's been hard to get dry, but it's actually making very, very nice hay. So I can't complain for, like I say, it'll be a little bit coarse, but still very feedable. So anyways, get this last couple of belts laced up here, and then get this retention, and then we're going to see how this baler is going to run here. So, well, there we go. Back up and running. Balers always make a certain amount of noise, they just do, but overall, at least there's no grumbling and squealing with the bearings going on there. So I'm pretty happy to have this back together and ready to go back out to the field now. So anyways, just like to say thanks everybody. If you don't mind, go ahead and leave a like, share, and go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. It's greatly appreciated. Once again, thanks everybody, and we'll see you all in the next one.